Cal Dahman, the offense was up here, I think, dripping sweat all over the podium there, and practice hasn't even started yet. What does that say about, I guess, his commitment? He said you told him to work on his craft. So
yeah, he's in there. And other guys, I mean, today De'Aaron Fox had his best workout pre-practice that he's had this year, which kind of tells you where he's going. You know, Bam was in here this afternoon, got an extra workout in. These guys are, you know, you get an opportunity to be on this stage, you can't really hide. Now, you can go up there with a cracked voice and say it was your dad, your mom, it was your aunt. No, dude, you sang, and your voice cracked. So what was it? And that's what this is. You're on a stage now, no excuse. You got to master your craft. You get an opportunity to play. Guys are doing great. Derek, I told him, I grabbed him and said, proud of you, kid. You're just getting better.
Cal, a lot's been made about the speed of this ball club, your ball club. How can that play to the advantage going into this game with Vandy?
Well, we're fast, and they can make threes now. I've watched enough tape. I'm like, I'll be going to sleep seeing three balls being thrown all over the place. I mean, they run stuff. The crazy thing is, I didn't think I had to watch last year's Vanderbilt tapes. Why is that? Really? That's what you would think. And then I watched my first game tape, and they were running the stuff they ran a year ago. So now I had to go back, and I had to start watching our game tapes last year with them. But it's smart. I mean, they were a terrific offensive team. They got three-point shooters, and that's how they played. And they're running almost all of the stuff with a couple, little adjustments. But it's mostly the stuff they ran a year ago.
What about him, though, has carried over to what did he bring with him?
I don't know yet. I haven't coached against him, and I haven't seen him in person. But he's competitive. You're seeing him get after the guys on the sideline, and he's energetic as he's coaching. So I would imagine, he's adding his mark to this. But think about it, pretty smart guy. Got a lot of guys coming back. Got a 7-foot shooting 5-man. Have a couple other guys. One kid shooting like 70% or 67% from the three. Why don't we run? Maybe he wasn't doing it early, and he looked at it and said, you know what, we better just do the things they know. I think it's pretty smart.
How well do you think your guys defend big guys and little guys?
It's hard to stop anybody from shooting threes. I mean, you just think about it. If a team wants to come down and take 22-footers, it's just hard. I mean, to say, well, we're going to take those, and they're saying they're going to take them. Some of it is, if they make 23s, you hit them and good job and go home. What's the next game? I mean, you're hoping you're guarding them and making it hard, but the reality of it is when a team is committed to shooting threes like they are, it's not easy to walk into a game saying, well, we're just going to do this.
Cal, as De'Aaron's just growing and getting better and he's the first in the league this week, what is he doing differently that he wasn't doing before just because of the process?
It's practice. All these players, what we're trying to do is help them develop habits that will help them to become successful. And it's not just the carryover from the habits on a basketball court, it's off the court. Your preparation should be so much harder than the game, and that means the way you practice, the way you prepared, how focused you are. And most young kids, they just don't know. Some guys, like, we gave him a different practice time. He's 15 minutes earlier than everybody else. He's got to be here. Kenny is spending extra time with him, and it's not just skill, it's conditioning, going harder. The guys, Bam, and those guys, they know it's a process. We know it's a process, and they're building their own confidence, their own self-esteem, their own self-worth. They build that themselves through work.
When you're doing this, do they readily accept these changes?
No, they'll argue with you. Like, I don't need this, and they'll argue with you, but, they never win. But they argue.
Are you got new players in the gym this week?
Not yet. Not yet. Am I allowed to talk about
You're
it?
not, he's not allowed to talk about it.
Who are we talking about?
I have no idea.
Now, when you went back and looked at how that four-guard lineup played, when Michael was at the four, what did you like? And what did you
I love the fact that he fought and didn't give an inch. Like, he battled, like he wasn't afraid, and he makes us different. But you got to fight, you got to battle, and he was able to do it. And, you know, we're able to, last week, try different things. Now, if I do that kind of stuff, it's going to be in a shortened, all right, 4 guards, let's go. Next 4 or 5 minutes, we'll go 4 guards. You're not going to be able to work hours on it because we're starting classes again. We practice today, we travel. Tomorrow, we have a game. Wednesday, they're completely off. That's the first day they've been off since they've been back, but they're off. So you just don't have the time to go through it. So some of it'll be doing it in a game and just saying, let's see it.
Does Vandy's that perimeter orientation lend itself to maybe taking a longer look at that?
Well, yeah, but if Derek's playing the way he is, and Wenyon's playing well, there's no reason to do it, but there was foul trouble, and that's why we did it. And it's nice to know that you have one more option. We also went with 2 bigs a little bit with Isaac and Bam.
Out of this period of camp, Cal, what have you been able to get out of these guys that you weren't getting before? And how beneficial do you think?
The whole thing is just having more time together and being able to spend quality time on defense and just doing it and being in the gym more free throw shooting, more situational work, all the stuff that a team's growth is dependent on, those kind of things. And early in the season, we just don't have that much time unless I want to practice 3.5 hours, and I don't want to be in the gym 3.5 hours, let alone they be in the gym, so I'm not going to do that. Here's what we can get done. Here's where we are on December 24th and 25th, 28th, 29th. This is where we are. And then you want to be somewhere else when it's January, February, March, and that's why that was a good time period. But we have a good base to grow from now.
How much of a challenge is it to defend a guy like Luke Barnett?
It's hard. 7-footer that shoots threes and good around the basket too. I haven't looked at all their stats yet. I'm more or less just watching them, how they're playing right now. But I would imagine the games I've seen him, just if you leave him open, it's down. They're playing.
So is there any more premium on a point guard being able to run the show on the court because of the weird bench setup?
Yeah, but we're allowed now to be down the sideline, so I don't think it's the effect it used to be. If I choose to be down there now, I can be on that sideline.
Without that, how is De'Aaron as far as being able to handle things on the court?
He's been good. He's been good. I mean, the biggest thing with him is that he keeps getting in the gym, spending extra time, playing at a higher level longer, that he's more confident shooting the ball, more confident shooting fouls, so he can be aggressive and attack and play and not, I don't want to get fouled because I may miss these 2. You can't play that way. I'm wide open, but I'm not making them, so I'm going to drive in here. You can't play that way. You got to take what the defense gives, especially our team, which we create for each other. If a guy creates a shot for you, you got to shoot it. Wendy, that's all I'm on him about. I wasn't worried about the walk. I was worried, why didn't you shoot the first ball? Because I missed the last shot, Coach, and I just didn't feel I should shoot. Well, then you're not in. Can't be in. Shoot the ball. Well, what if I miss 7? Get in here at midnight. Work on your craft. What are you talking to me about? But you have to do your job. That's how you trust each other. If you don't trust, it's hard to be aggressive. It's hard to be in attack mode. It's really hard to be a good team.
She says he's having surgery, going to miss a chunk of the season. I know you kind of suffered through the 13-14 season, had surgery right after. Did you ever think at that point about getting that done and stepping away in season?
I mean, if I had to, I would have. I mean, I would say my health would come first, but it was a different situation. I mean, but I would have if I had to. If they said you got to stop and get this done, well, then I would have. But that's not, it wasn't that. Mine was more, the pain the stuff, but
Couple more guys.
How much, Vandy's the only gym where the bench, I know you can go up the sideline more. How important in your mind is tradition? Even if it's different, it's a charming thing. Not necessarily Vandy, but just any kind of tradition. Tradition seems to be less in college sports all the time.
is it money or tradition why they're not doing that, doing a new building? I don't know. I mean, I know they're struggling right now at Vanderbilt, financially.
They're adding more seats, more money seats.
Yeah, they'll figure that out. You know, it's like the arenas that, like, it's like Rupp. I mean, players around the country want to play in Rupp. If they schedule a game with us, their coach is able to say, well, look, we're playing in Rupp Arena. I got friends and family that want to come to games just because they want, it's like a bucket list. I want to go to Rupp Arena. So I understand that, and what we've done to improve Rupp is made it like a new building. And, you know, if you can do that and spend that money and make it we need to do the same in this building here. You know, that building, Memorial Hall for our women's program and volleyball. All right, let's go. It's crazy. A building that old, they could spend X amount of millions to go in and make that a new arena and not be outrageous. And so you still be able to play in Memorial Hall, but it's basically a new building. So Vandy it is what it is. That's how they've been. They've coached from the end zone. They now let us walk down the sideline, which, you know, I don't understand why they didn't do it before, you know, but.
Last question if you got it.
Do you know what YOLO means?
What's that?
You tweeted out YOLO. Do you know where that?
What did you say?
You tweeted out YOLO yesterday.
You only live once. I had to shorten the tweet.
Yeah, I didn't. I said you only live once. He did the YOLO. Like, what are you talking about?
140 characters.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't miss. I was watching tape on the plane, and you know, got to see some friends. Got to see Mike before the game, Tomlin, and you know, was back for the evening practice. I was here, so like I said, you only look. When I grew up, I could not get into Steeler games. I couldn't get into a Steeler game. I took my dad to a game, and we walked out at midfield with Marvin and Mike. And my dad, as we're walking off, looks and says, and we couldn't get a ticket to these games. We're at midfield right now. So I had an opportunity to go to the game and see my Steelers, and boy, did they play good. Whew. I mean, they were, and Bud Dupree, whew. Let me say this. They had to drag him off the field like 4 different times. Like, he was fighting everybody, officials and the other guys, the linemen. I mean, he was ridiculous. So, yeah, I do stuff like that. I'm not going next week. I was invited to go to Kansas City. it's too much. This was an easy thing for me, but
Thanks.
thanks.